What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, what time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, he's back from the dead.
Your
Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon, right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah.
Your show.
What time is it?
Your show.
Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah.
Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, von Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Welcome to another week of your show here on the Dufferin Ave Media Network. I am your host, Gary. Happy Monday to you. Still, as far as we know, the only live show from 4 to 5, Monday to Friday on YouTube. And you can also find it on all the other audio places where you look for audio stuff, like the Spotifys and the Apple Books and the other stuff that kids go to. Nailed it, hey? Coming in hot. We're going to jump right into this, but I think I need a little theme song for this first guest we have to kick off not only the Monday edition of your show, but the whole new week. So it's got to be something sexy. We got Dragon on the ones and twos today. Dragon, what do you got in there for us? Besides oh, beep. Coming in hot. Here we go. Don't let me down.
On the walk back.
It's the 26th year anniversary of the biggest faction, the greatest intro of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Uncle Brando!
You might wind up in a body bag. To your chances. Now it's time to show you we're wrong. In the rain, this is for all you sucks that's strong.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, the wolf pack for life. Tell me
Old
boys.
chicken? No, it's spring chicken.
Spring chicken.
Yeah, 26 years since that
That's
theme
a-
came out.
That's a long time.
Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. I love that theme.
You would think that I was fighting in the wolf pack with the neck brace somewhere in there. I feel like I got Scott Steiner to Frankensteiner or something close to that.
When you started doing that thing when you got really jacked, we just lift you up for a suplex and just like turn you and drop you on your head.
Yeah.
The screwdriver. That's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
Yeah, he's probably drinking a bunch of screwdrivers before he came up with that.
He was probably doing a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about Scott Steiner, though.
No, we're not going to imply that he did a lot of human growth hormones to look like that. There's no chance we would ever say that on the internet.
We have played his math equations once on the show, where
Oh,
he's like
yeah.
50% and then 75% and 20% and like 17%, 15 equals 150% chance that I'm probably going to win 33% chance of that happening.
There's a non-0% chance that that is actual real math.
Yeah. So I got my neck brace on today. I only got about half my hair out. It's been a tough go.
What's going on, man?
I woke up on Saturday and I couldn't move.
Oh, no.
I guess it was Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a
no.
bunch of things I had to do. Apologies to Auntie Susie. I was supposed to take her over to Granny's. I had to get Dad to fill in for that. Had a bunch of other things that were supposed to get done. Couldn't do it because I couldn't move. But
Oh,
today
no.
we're a little bit better. We got the Dr. Ho going, so we'll see how it all lasts. But I think it's a pretty cool look we got with the hair today.
Have you tried throwing a coin into a wishing well and wishing to be better?
No, because you just told me about a movie you watched that involved wishing wells and people being murdered from the genie that got covered.
Well, I did not tell you also that the wishes do come true.
Oh,
So, I mean, murder is
Well-
a small price to pay for your overall health. I would certainly not suggest, because murder is bad.
this is
That's-
just like that episode of Rick and Morty where the devil comes in and then he gives you like, you know, the
Bad legal advice.
yeah, well, that too, but like the ability for all women to love you, but you can't perform, like those
Ooh.
type of situations.
That's a bedazzled situation, hey, where the like Elizabeth Hurley showed up and
Yeah,
gave
exactly.
Brendan
like,
Fraser everything he ever
exactly
wanted.
like that. Yeah,
It's like you're going to be a famous, what was it, a basketball player or whatever, but you're going to have the tiniest penis ever, and you're going to sweat profusely and just be an idiot.
that's it. And he did,
Man.
and he kept trying to fix it, and it never worked out.
never.
Don't make deals with the devil. That's the
Nope.
first lesson.
Man, the first thing I would have done if Elizabeth Hurley showed up was like, Elizabeth Hurley, can I go on a date with you, please?
Yeah,
And she would say yes,
Well,
because
yeah, of
it's my
course.
wish.
yeah. And then that would be the movie, and I'd watch that one.
Yeah, I'll bet you that would be a really fun like night out.
You should be in more movies. I think Brando should be in a lot of movies. Maybe we could do like movie trailers. I know I want to bring back Brando's movie trailer reviews because that's one of my favorite things ever. But I feel like we could just do trailers with you in them instead of other people, and you know, it'd make it a lot better. Improving trailers with Brando.
We did have fun watching me try and put this freaking earpiece in today. That was
awesome. Did you get it in the right way?
I don't think I did. I just cover it with my hair.
Yeah, and they're so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
We gotta get some new ones from some good people in town here. I wonder when we can do that. Probably in a week or two by the sounds of it. We'll book today. This is good. Happy Monday, Brando. You had a week. This is, again, Uncle Brando.
yeah.
You know him from the CCO podcast, the greatest podcast in the history of everything. He performs with our man, Network Ryan, a.k.a. your good buddy Ryan, as he likes to call himself on the show.
Yeah, he's the only person that calls himself that.
It's funny how that works, isn't
Yep.
it? Yeah. So you guys were just at a convention, and I've always wanted to go to conventions, and it sounds like I still really want to go to conventions because they're so much fun, dude. And you were talking on the CCO podcast about some of the stuff that happened, because this is like your first vacation in the history of your life. Is that correct?
My adult life, yes. It was the first time I'd ever gone anywhere for anything but the purpose of work.
Now,
And while I did also work while I was there, I had some days off where I actually did some things, some tourist things in the city of Vancouver. And I had a marvelous time and think I might do it again.
wow. So how many years did it take you to go on your own vacation? I don't need to know how old you are because it always makes me sad because I always thought I was so much older than you. Never like the same. But like once you became an adult, how long would you say it took you to go on your very first vacation?
Like 14 years?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time. I just never thought of it really. It's like, well, I'm working or I'm busy or whatever. And then one day my girlfriend was like, listen, you boob, we're going to go on a vacation and shut up about it.
So
And we did.
did you plan things on this vacation?
Very, very broadly. Like there was
Very
a couple
loose?
of things we wanted to do. Like I've never been to the ocean before, like the real
Yes,
live
dip your
ocean.
toes in the ocean.
And I wanted to like stand in it and I wanted to taste the water. And so we went to the beach. We went to Wreck Beach in Vancouver.
Here we go.
And some people are like, Wreck Beach, why do I know that one? It's the nude beach in Vancouver that's right by the U of BC or the UBC. Man, it was super fun. There was like naked dudes and naked people walking all around. There was a guy that looked just like Jesus with no clothes on, boogie boarding on the beach. And there was like naked frisbee.
Hold on
Oh,
a
dude.
second. Everyone wants to know, how was naked Jesus at boogie boarding?
Way better than I thought he'd be.
Yeah?
I thought, sure, like, oh, here's just some random with a boogie board. Like, how good's he going to be? Answer, real good.
Well, when you can float on water like that.
Yeah, it is.
And again, no religion, no politics. I will say, though, I heard that Jesus had a good thing for walking on
yeah,
water.
I heard that Jesus was good in the water, too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he got good at not getting in the water. I don't know how that would work.
Well, clearly it worked out well for him because he did a hell of a show out there.
Hell yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was fantastic. And if I may spoil it for everybody.
Yes.
Yes, I did show off my schmack on the beach. I was very proud of myself. I Winnie the Pooh it though. Like
I was
put
going
my
to say it wasn't for long.
Yeah, I
You
put
didn't
I
go
put my
full.
shirt on and then I like changed into my thing, but just before I put my real pants back on, I just stood up and like looked around. Like I was real proud of myself. Like, look it, everybody can see my pieces. And it was very liberating.
You did enough to say that you were nude at a nude beach.
yeah, people definitely know what I look like with no pants on in Vancouver.
I wish I could have came out there. I would have enjoyed that.
It was a lot of fun. It was the most chill place I've ever been. I thought it was going to be real weird and awkward and like
Well-
everybody keeping to themselves. But like everybody was real comfortable with it. And after a while, it's like, man, it's better than being at a real beach because it's more like self-policing, I guess. So like there's no drunken idiots. There's one guy, but like he got escorted out, right?
Yeah, it was Brando.
I only had a few.
Well, they
Yeah, man. I told you I was saving some stuff from the CCO to do on the Your Show.
This
I have all
is your
sorts of
show specific right now.
Yeah, this is an
This is
exclusive. and I was
Exclusive.
gonna-
That's the word.
Yeah, man.
Exclusive.
Lots of cool stuff we did. I learned all about.
Hold on. I'm not done with the nude beach yet.
'Kay,
Because
yeah.
I've been to a couple nude beaches in my life.
Okay.
And the biggest thing that everyone realizes real quick when you go to a nude beach is it's either just really old people who don't care anymore or no one.
Right.
Is that pretty much what you ran into? Is that still the vibe at the nude beaches?
No, actually, I was really expecting it to be exactly that, and it wasn't. There was some old people with no clothes on. That's a given. But there was actually like some like college age people of
Really?
both genders, or just
Yeah.
chilling with no clothes on. Lots
That's it.
of topless sunbathing. Lots of just like dudes hanging out, having a drink, like sitting on. They had all these logs set up that you could sit on,
Yeah.
and just hanging out doing a thing. It was.
Is it as much of a like holy crap moment as it was back in, say, what was it, 2003? I was in Australia and with Benji and my buddy Doobie, and we all just couldn't believe our eyes that there was just naked boobies everywhere.
I'm
We
gonna-
can't handle this, guys. This is too much.
I don't think so. It was so chill. Like the whole vibe was so subdued. It was so neat. I thought it was gonna be this huge, like, oh my god, look at all these dinks. And there was like It wasn't even a thing. I bought a hot dog from a dude with no pants on, and I didn't even notice until I walked back with my hot dog that he wasn't wearing pants. Like, it was so good. It was one of the coolest places I've ever been. I'm really looking forward to going back.
Oh, wow.
It was a really fun time.
Okay, so you got your full-on nude beach experience.
I did. And the ocean was fun, too. Tasted
Yeah.
exactly as bad as everybody said it was
It's
going
gross.
to, too. Yeah, it was not...
It's
It was
not a
not
good
tasty.
taste.
I did try it twice though, just to make sure that the first time wasn't just my hands being sweaty or something. So like I tried it and it was gross, and then I like rinsed my hands off and dried them on my shirt, and then tried it again, still gross. So can
Good to know.
confirm ocean water does not taste good.
Yeah, and that's what my biggest issue is that all the seafood that comes out of there tastes like that disgusting ocean water.
Oh,
It's gross, so that's
What-
why I can't handle seafood. It's
But you-
disgusting.
but don't you remove seafood skin and then fry it in oil? Like how does this all taste like?
I don't
though?
know. Didn't you taste some out there? You
I
were on the
I
coast.
did. I thought it tasted really good actually.
But you're like me. You're not very. You're pretty picky when it comes to food.
I
aren't
am
you?
quite picky. Yes.
Was this your first try at seafood?
Yes, it was my first try
Okay, take us
actual
through.
for real seafood.
Walk us through. What'd you eat? What'd you get?
I got a. Given that I was just on a nude beach, I got a snapper platter.
Of course.
Got some red snapper, which was delightful. And listen, you and you especially, and maybe you too,
Yeah.
and you guys over there too. It was nothing untowards about it. It was just fish, okay? And it was wonderful. And I ate it in this like harbor kind of area, except with little small boats. I don't know what that's called, but some kind of thing. And then my buddy
Marina.
Brad, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
And then
been
my
there.
buddy Brad explained mud flats to me. And then I didn't go on the mud flat because then they'd have to save me with this big ice cream scoop, and I didn't want to be saved in a big ice cream scoop.
What is a mud flat?
It's like it looks like sand that's just a little bit wet, but then when you walk out onto it, it's just like a little bit of like a layer of sand floating on top of some water, and it turns into quicksand, and you die. And every year somebody's like, whatever, I'll just skip across, it'll be fine. Drown.
Why do people keep doing it if you end up drowning?
Well, Gary, and this is true, scientific fact, first to be heard here. Some people are real stupid, and they do real dumb stuff sometimes. Right?
It checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so no mud flapping. You're
Yeah.
hanging out in marinas. You're
don't
eating
be doing-
snappers.
Yeah, and I saw some seals that were swimming in the
That's
bay.
cute.
And I saw like where the ocean is like over, right? Like right there where the water keeps going, but that's the end of the ocean, and it turns into a river from there. So that was cool. Like I got to see all sorts of neat stuff. And then I
Wow.
ate at this brewery that is kind of themed after the diner from Saved by the Bell.
Get out of
And
here. The
now-
Max. I love the
Oh,
Max.
That was so cool. And
Always wanted to go to the Max.
all the beers were named after like video game things.
So
It was like Rainbow Road and Golden Ring and all this stuff. It was so good. It was so much fun.
Brando heaven.
Yeah, it was the best thing. I ate at an arcade and did trivia from like outside the bar because I didn't realize that trivia was happening that night. So we just sat kind of tertiary to it and like answered on the napkin.
You did your own trivia.
Yeah, and we did fine. We did
Wow.
about as well as you'd think we would do. And
That's
I ate
good.
I had ramen for the first time.
Oh, I love ramen. I'm a
Which was
ramen monster.
Spectacular. I was really
Yeah.
excited about that. And we had Korean barbecue.
Mm.
And I never had that. It was my first time eating Korean barbecue and
What a trip.
cooking something on a barbecue.
You cooked on a barbecue.
Yeah, because it's right in the table, right? Like you cook all your own food. I had never
It's
done
like
that
those
before.
Japanese steakhouses.
Yeah, it was super
That's
dope.
awesome.
That was lots of fun. It
Were they
was
throwing it in your mouth, like flicking them?
well. I mean, I could have if I wanted
Did you
to.
catch them like a seal?
No, I cooked it. Like they
You cooked your
they,
own?
They bring you raw food and then you cook it on your little grill.
Okay,
and then
hold
you
on.
eat it.
Where do we stand on this? Because I feel like that is just taking all the work out for the restaurant. Here's your food, you cook it.
Yes, that is true.
Why
but
don't
you
you
know,
just order raw food to your house and then cook it there?
well, because then, Gary,
Yeah.
it's not fancily cut and presented on these neat little plates.
Ah,
Right?
so class. You
Yeah,
wanna be classy.
it was an experience that I had.
nice.
It was there was like a secret karaoke bar around the corner.
Get outta
Like there wasn't a sign for it or anything. You could only see it when you went to the bathroom. And there's this bright like bzz, 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 purple arrow pointing. I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. I'll bet you somebody's gonna
With
have
no
sex
words
over
on
there.
it? Just
no,
a-
yeah. And then
yeah.
when you go around the corner, it says karaoke. It's like, oh man,
Ah,
that's
disappointed again.
that's not nearly as awesome as I thought. it was
One
gonna
day
be.
I'm gonna walk into one of those parties and
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it was not that time though.
No.
No,
Well, that's fair.
no. And what else did I do? I want to
Man,
tell.
well, I just want to recap so far. Uncle Brando is our guest to kick off the show on this Monday, and he went on his first ever vacation as an adult,
Mhm.
and he went to his first nude beach.
Yep.
And he got nude on the nude beach for a couple seconds. Porky
Sure did.
pigged it, you said? What it was? Porky
Winnie the
pigged it?
Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh did. That's good. And then you went to a place where they made him cook his food fancily inside the restaurant for the first time.
Correct.
He ate snapper in a marina.
Yep.
learned about mud flaps without falling in and dying,
Correct?
and I saw the ocean for the first time.
Yeah, I went in it and everything. Tasted
Dude,
it.
you like maybe that might be a better way to see the world. Getting it all done at once. Like you've got so many things that you did for the first time on this trip.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool because everyone sort of like takes their time and goes different places and checks them all off. Dude, you went after it.
Oh yeah. Anytime I saw something that was new, I decided like this is my first time doing like this thing that I'm doing. I should just do everything that I can for the first time while I'm here.
It's just
It's like, I've never done that before. I'll do that.
Hell
right?
yeah.
So I did lots of neat stuff.
That's so
It
cool.
was really cool. It was lots of fun.
So let's talk about the CCO. What do you call it? Magic Con? Is that what we call it?
The Magic Con or Command Fest based
Command
on
Fest.
the size and contents of
Yes.
said event.
And I got a bunch of questions because we recorded the CCO podcast like we do every Saturday. And as producer Gary, I sit here and I listen and I get all these questions. I'm so happy to have you here now because, by the way, dropping tomorrow. Pre-show drop today, then tomorrow and Wednesday, CCO podcast. Check it out. Best podcast in the universe.
We appreciate you saying that, and we appreciate your listenership.
Absolutely. It's brothers, man. That's what we're all about. And you said you played in 16 games of Magic the Gathering over this thing. How does that even happen? Take us through the whole experience.
Well, like for me, I started off kind of right when the show started, as opposed to Network Ryan, who showed up right when the show opened.
He was so hungover.
Which was amazing. Well, I mean, it's not that I was not hungover. I
Yeah,
just had
he
more
was-
time to recover from it, right?
He was up at 5 in the morning.
Oh, not
Said
me.
he
I was
dead.
up at 5 in the morning. Yeah, because I knew I didn't have to be at work.
It's still way too early, by the way.
I was up. Until then I went to
Oh,
sleep,
I
and then I
got
woke
you,
up so I
yeah.
could be at the event at 2.
You guys could have tagged in if you were a tag team.
I was the slacker of the crew.
Yeah,
This
well,
time,
you weren't
which
really
was great.
working. You were experiencing, which
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
was really cool.
So essentially, it's just for, at least my experiences are a little bit different at these events. Usually you show up, you buy your package, you have event tickets, you sign up to be in the event, and you play. And it's a great time for everybody. Highly recommend everybody come out. But for me, because I'm technically a media guest, which is still uncomfortable for me to say
Celebrity.
if I'm honest. I don't want to say that.
People don't
but-
understand how big you guys are.
Yes.
These guys are huge, okay? Like,
Yes.
this is a really big deal, and they are celebrities everywhere except here, basically, which is so weird to me.
Yeah,
But
which is very weird.
here we are. So you're out there, and you're basically Wayne Gretzky at the Magic Con.
But sure.
Yeah.
More like, I don't know, maybe Mario Lemieux.
Well,
Is he
okay.
smaller than Wayne Gretzky as
Yeah.
a celebrity?
Well, we can start a big, angry argument.
Probably
about that,
is,
but no one
hey?
can touch Gretzky. If you want to touch Gretzky, all you got to do is beat his 61 records. Then you can go talk to him. Show me someone else who has 61 records anywhere, and we can talk.
Sure. I concur. So I'm like Mario
with me?
level.
Okay.
And you
So,
show
but this is the thing though. People come to you for pictures and autographs, like, "Oh, you're Brando from CC." Like, it's
Yeah.
okay. I just want to
yeah.
make sure people
And-
understand this.
And there's like a rotating pool of people that want to like get games in with you, just to like hang out and shoot the shit and play. And a game of Magic will take usually between about an hour and 2 hours, based on kind of a whole number of factors that are too complicated to get
It's
into
so
right now.
insanely complicated.
But so basically, I came in, I sat down at a table. Some people came over and sat down, and I basically didn't leave that spot until it was time for me to go drink beer across the bay. And then when I came back, I sat back down, and people came, and they were there too. And it basically was just like that for 3 days.
Man,
It's a great time. You get to meet all sorts of really interesting people, and just everybody from everywhere comes, and everybody is welcome. And I'm so happy that people feel comfortable enough to come up to me and like say that they think I'm cool.
did you win
Which
any
is-
games?
I did. I won. Hang on.
Here we go. Here we go.
5 or 6, maybe.
Get outta here.
Which is pretty good. That's a pretty
That's
good ratio,
baller,
right?
man.
Like 16 games of 4 people. I won like between
That's
5
huge.
and 6. That's pretty
a
good,
Very good winning percentage.
right? Like that's.
And you even had a game where you played with a set that was so bad that you threw it in the garbage the second you were there,
I sure did.
which made me
Yep.
very proud because I could totally picture being like, "Well, that's it for this. Boom.
Yep.
See you later."
Didn't put it in sleeves. Didn't take care of it at all. I was just brutal with it the whole time. Like just didn't give a shit. And then as soon as it was done, the instant it was done, I'm
love
like,
that. Such a
I'm
power
done
move.
with this. And I just like got up and I walked away, threw it in the garbage, came back, and the guys were all sitting around me like, "What'd you do with your cards?" I was like, "I threw them in that garbage bin over there." I'm like, "Well, but was there anything good in there?" I was like, "Did you see me play anything good?"
You were
Well,
there, bro.
Well, no. Well, if you don't believe me, they're in the garbage over there. Like,
Check it out.
yeah, I don't even care. But
Oh, that's funny.
it was so much fun, and I love doing those events so much. It's cool to get out, and then just it makes you feel good being around people who just genuinely are curious about you as a human being,
Yeah, they
and then
care.
who are happy when they meet you and you're the same as you are on the show. Because lots of times they tell you don't meet your heroes or don't meet celebrities you like because they're not the people you think they are.
And that's way more true than not, unfortunately.
And I get such a charge out of people saying like, you're just the way I thought you'd be.
Yeah.
You're the exact human that I thought you'd be.
That makes me happy.
Like I can't say my typical greeting on the show because it's not as family friendly as the show would prefer to be. But like I say that to every single human I meet, no matter how tall they are.
And they know what's up.
Yeah, and they know it's me. And they're like, "Oh, Brando, why did you just say that to my 5 kids?" It's like, "Well, do you want me to sign your cards or what?" Right?
That's it.
It's fun. It's a great time, and I love going to events like that. And then afterwards, our buddy Brad, who let me stay with
Rusty
him.
Trom Jones.
Yeah, big thanks to him again for letting me stay at his house and trusting me with his car and everything that he owned. Some of which I stole, some of which I left, some of which I counterfeited and left. Right, because that's how I do things.
That's how he rolls. But Rusty Trom Jones is amazing.
He booked us the downstairs of a bar called the Alibi Room. I think you heard about. Did you hear about this one already?
Oh no, you tell.
And we had the big after party where a whole bunch of like Brad's friends and people who were from the show and people who knew us, they all went down and we filled up the bottom of this like downtown Vancouver bar.
Like your own bar.
And we had our own bartender and everything. It was so much fun. It was just the best ending to a fantastic weekend of meeting really cool people. And it was so nice to get to enjoy that and then not have to wake up at the butt crack of dawn the next day and pull myself with like one arm, like grabbing onto handfuls of grass to pull myself to the Uber. To get poured out onto the security lineup at the airport, to be swept through security and put into like a water basin, to be poured into my seat on the airplane, right? That was so nice.
Those flights are horrible.
Oh man, the flight after is always the worst.
We went to a trip to Florida. We went to a Dolphins game, me and the boys. And on the way home, I bought a 66 of 5-star vodka for $5. And I decided there was like one day left, like, well, I can't leave any of this, so I'm going to finish all of this bottle.
Attaboy.
And our flight home was 5 different connecting flights. It was an entire day of connecting.
Oh my God.
2 of those 5 flights, I spent the entire time in the plane bathroom.
Oh.
The second I could get into, the second we were landing.
Oh,
like, it was horrible. Horrible times. People were like banging to get in, I just get out and like let them in and then just go right back in behind them.
Oh, dude, that is
so
rough.
I can relate to those getting poured into an airplane flight.
Oh,
it's
that is
never
rough.
good.
Yeah. And this is a question for the listening audience as well. Is the Edmonton airport the most depressing building on the earth, or is that just me?
Man, you might be onto something.
There's something about
might
that
be
building
onto
where you just go and you're like, man, I know I just had the time of my life, and I have so many cool things to talk about, but the only thing I can think about right now is how bad I hate being in this goddamn airport Chili's right now.
There's a reason,
no
flights go through Edmonton. Hey, you notice that? They all go through the big Calgary because it's like the big one. The big hub or whatever.
Yeah,
but Edmonton gets no love.
Yeah, and nor should they. It's terrible.
That's a PSA right there.
You get out of the plane on the tarmac. You got to walk outside in the rain with all your stuff.
Depressing.
Then you're in an airport. Like, man, if I'm going to walk across a tarmac, I expect to not be in an airport.
Give me something, bro. Hey?
Give me a mall or anything but an airport.
I hear you, dude.
Man,
I hear you loud and clear.
That's just junk.
We're hanging out with Uncle Brando, from the CCO podcast. He's my everything. We love him so much. He just did so much fun stuff. What else? Is there anything else you'd like to touch on about that big trip of yours? Was anything else cool happen?
Can I tell you one other neat thing?
I want all the neat things. This is Brando's story time. We're basically Adam Cole, baby.
I'm pretty excited about this. So we went to not the casino, aquarium. Basically the same thing, right? Basically the same.
Totally.
And I learned a plethora of marine animal butthole stuff.
Here we go.
That
this is the content I'm here for.
I did not ask about. But virtually every presentation I went to had something to do with the beeholes of these animals. And I'm going to lay some knowledge on everybody so everybody can be marine biologists just like me.
Let me pretend that I'm about to learn something.
So the jellyfish, as we know it.
Man of war.
Yeah, has existed since before an animal with a butthole. Therefore, the jellyfish is older than the butthole.
Can we call it beehole just to keep it a little more family friendly?
Absolutely, we can. The beehole.
It's such a jarring word when you do the whole thing.
So that and that's kind of neat. And jellyfish too. Like they can't swim by themselves. Like when they move around, that's just the current.
Yeah.
And then when they get sick of being blown around by the current, they basically turn themselves into a plant. And when they're a plant, they can clone themselves. But then when they're a floating jellyfish, they can like mingle with other jellyfish to have like jellyfish babies that can then go on to clone themselves too. It's insane. They're the strangest animal. And when you touch one of them, they feel like an eyeball. I got to touch one.
Clearly, it wasn't one of the ones that can kill you.
No. Also, all jellyfish can sting.
Everyone,
They're-
it's just you don't feel them.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard that one.
Yeah, it's like how there's those
Some
spiders
are a
that
little
can
bit
bite you.
less.
Yeah. So like that was really cool. And I got hugged by a sea urchin. You can poke them and they like hug your finger with their spines,
That's really cute.
which is really fun. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. And the other beehole thing that I learned was, you know, when you look at a starfish,
Yeah.
its back is its bee.
Like
Oh.
on top of it?
Yeah, the top of it is the beehole.
Well, yeah, 'cause he
and the
eats in the
bottom of
bottom.
it is its mouth.
Yeah.
And its eyes are at the end of all of its things, like they're little stars.
So it has 5 eyes.
Instead of having a hand at the end, it's an eyeball. So when you look at a starfish and it starts to kind of curl up, that's it looking at you.
What is happening right now?
Right? The ocean is a terrifying place, man.
This is why I don't like oceans.
Yeah, and this is the last thing we're going to tell you about here about the aquarium is there was a sign around one of these tanks and it says, if there's a crowd here, it means Brando's out. And I got
What?
so pumped. I was like, oh dang, this is the best. And then it turns out that they have an octopus who is also named Brando,
Brando,
which is pretty cool. So that was lots of fun. And I learned lots of aquarium
Tell me
things.
about Brando the octopus.
Brando the octopus is an 8-foot across, red ringed octopus, I think he's called. He can change colors.
Hold on, did
He
you
is-
say 8 foot across?
Yeah, he's like 8 feet across, including his
That's a
tentacles. So
huge
he's
octopus.
so he's like pretty big. And he's escaped from his cage a bunch of times. Like he's
Like, so
crawled.
smart.
Yeah,
I've
like
heard
they've-
about. I want to meet those.
Yeah, like
octopi
they've
that do that.
escaped. He's escaped from
Yeah.
the thing. Just crawled around inside the aquarium, and they catch him in the morning and put him back. And he's such a G.
Okay, speaking of
So-
pets, we're gonna get
oh,
back. Don't forget about Brando
Oh,
the
yeah.
octopus. We're gonna pay some bills real quick as we're gonna head over to the Maggie Cam. This is probably the latest Maggie Cam we've ever done. Proudly brought to you by our incredible friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Mike and Rochelle and Kirsten and Chris and Char are always there to help you with all of your pet needs and so much more. Even if you're just having a bad day, you walk in there and it'll get better, I promise you. Everybody around these parts goes to Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, as she goes for the stump. Don't stump, you're going to get sneezies. You're not supposed to lick the stump. Hey, good girl. Yeah, look at that puppy.
She's very beautiful.
Isn't she the cutest? How's Big Earth doing?
She's fantastic. She just had her post-vacation wash at Pet Planet.
Ah, see, everyone goes there.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I'm
all-
talking
we
about.
do
Look
go
at that
there, and it's
smile.
super
She
fun.
just loves it. Yeah, Big Earth is like a bigger Maggie, basically, is how I describe her.
Yeah.
With an extra leg.
Yes, she has all 4 legs
Yeah.
and curlier hair. But
And it's so cute. Like
Aw,
one of the
thanks.
cutest dogs. So we got Brando, the 8-foot wide octopi that likes to get out of its den, would you say? Is it
Yes.
an octopus den?
it's like an enclosure. There's some other fish in there and some really neat like green and red kind of. It's alive stuff, but it's coral stuff too.
Okay.
I don't know how the ocean
This
works,
is
man.
this is why I ask about this, because I'm learning that octopuses or octopi are uber intelligent, like smarter than I am, easily.
They have several brains.
Yeah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know how Ricky on the Trailer Park Boys talks like, well, I'm not as smart as this thing probably, but I'm probably smarter than that bag over there. Like, that's how I feel when we're talking about octopi. Like, they're so smart. Why are they in these cages and all these, like, I have such a back and forth. Like, I love the aquariums that are like recovery aquariums.
That's what this one is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I'm okay with that. Like, I went to one in LA, and it was
Oh.
all about recovering all of these different marine life. And I was like, okay, I can get behind this. But when they're just there and knocked in like it's a zoo,
Yeah.
like, it's hard for me. So, like, I sort of cheer for these octopuses trying to get the hell out of there when I hear stories like that. I'm like, come on, man, you got this. Like a Free Willy type situation.
A lot of the times he goes back into the thing by himself.
So he's just happy.
He
where is.
probably likes it there because I mean, if you think about it,
That
they're-
is the one thing that, allows us to sleep at night, is knowing that they are being so well taken care of and loved.
Yeah, and they're real smart. So he's like, I could just hide it over in this corner. I get fed however many times a day.
Yeah.
People come and they're really excited to see me. Whenever I do literally anything, I don't mind being here. Or I could go out and maybe get eaten by a turtle. You know what I mean? Nobody
Yeah.
wants that. Nobody wants to be eaten by a turtle. That's horrible.
That's a
Some of
bad
them
way
don't even
to
have
go.
teeth. They just got little beaks and stuff.
Very bad way to go.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Yeah, snapping turtles.
Yeah.
My mom asked why everything was so blurry. Hey guys, are we blurry? Are we blurry on that screen? My mom wants to know why we're so blurry. Dragon. Are we blurry? Didn't look blurry. Looks like we're okay.
Yeah, we look okay to me.
Mom,
That's-
are you drinking margaritas too early? Oh, you're supposed to check the settings according to the dragon.
Did you try unplugging it and plugging it back in
I
again?
don't know.
That's
We
what
did-
I always get.
We did have a little little mark on one of the cameras, and I'm all paranoid about the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid cameras.
Yeah, cameras are junk.
Anyway, so getting back to business, what else did you see in the aquarium?
What else did I see? I saw mostly jellyfish. Jellyfish was the big thing, and there were black-tipped reef sharks and piranhas. I saw an electric eel for the first time.
Now we're cooking.
That was-
Please tell me somebody touched the electric eel.
You weren't allowed to touch the electric.
Well, of course I'm not allowed to.
Well,
that
no,
doesn't stop.
No, it's in a
people.
really big tank. You can't
No one, like,
reach over.
climbed in.
They had like a roof and stuff,
Okay.
right? Like they're pretty safe
That's
out
pretty
there.
cool.
Yeah, they take care of the animals. They had a whole bunch of like otters and sea lions and what's the one with the teeth?
Walruses.
Walruses.
I love walruses.
Didn't have any of those. Didn't have any of those. They did have sea lions.
But
though.
again, this isn't a aquarium, right? It's a recovery center.
Yeah,
per se.
and I
so that's
think
the
that
big difference.
a lot of that was the really like the cool stuff where
Yeah.
it's like you have like the otter, sea lion. One of them was really endangered around
Yeah.
BC because they were getting farmed for their pelts and stuff.
Ugh.
And institutions like the Vancouver Aquarium actually like restocked them, and they're
See,
they're
that's
not
what I'm talking
not
about.
all the way back, but like they take care of urchin beds and do all kinds of
Yeah.
things in the ocean that's really important, and it was really cool
That's
that
it. And you learn while you're in there.
yeah, and we as people actually, it's nice to hear the stories about us doing something good that actually like
Yeah.
makes the planet a better place. You know,
Absolutely.
It's cool to hear stuff like that and hear about the successes that we've had. It's like the forestry farm here in Saskatoon.
Hell yeah.
Where it's the same kind of gimmick, except we don't have like coral and stuff.
We don't have those ocean reefs.
Yeah, we have like deer and those really cool gophers. And the hardest working bears in zoos. If you've never been to the Saskatoon Forestry Farm, I highly suggest you go meet the James Brown bear. That's what I've called. That's what I call
James
both the
Brown bear?
bears because they're the hardest working bear in zoos. They
And
walk
James Brown
around,
was
they
the
dig
hardest working
holes.
entertainer, yeah.
Yeah, they sit in the hole, man.
That's
That's
pretty good.
He's they're the bomb.
I'll tell you, Dr. Funkhauser from Dr. Hausman Associates, he sponsors a couple animals over at the zoo.
Oh, good for
So I'm gonna
him.
make my way over there hopefully soon to go check out all the animals again because it's been a while.
It's been a while. They got lots of new stuff going on there. It's a great place to
Maybe
be.
we should do an excursion. We already, like, our first Dufferin Avenue Media Network excursion is planned to go see the Fireside Singers.
Oh, we're going to see Megan.
We're going. Our good friend Megan, give her a shout out. We love you,
Yeah.
Megan, so much. And LB and the gang. So we're going to the Christmas one. We're going to get a whole section quarantined off, and we're going to make it all you can drink so we can get real rowdy.
Yeah,
And
man.
we're going to storm the stage. I already told LB we're storming the stage, and he got mad. He's like, I don't know if you can do that. I was like, well. And then my
What?
mom yelled at me. She's like, you can't do that. I was like, well, we might make it better.
Well, we can probably sing if we try, right? If we get drunk enough, we could sing.
Yeah, you can do anything if you get
Yeah,
drunk
if you
enough.
try hard,
You could even ride a horse, probably.
probably.
Maybe not. That might be a little bit hard. I don't know. I have to ask some experts about that one.
Yeah, I don't know much about riding horses. You might have to call in an expert, some kind of overseas business, to come in and teach us about how horses would be ridden or taken care of.
Okay, I want to get to wrestling. I know you didn't watch any wrestling. I know you haven't watched in a while. There was a couple pay-per-views over the weekend. Do you know this?
King of the Ring.
Yeah, and Queen,
and-
King and Queen of the Ring now.
Okay, neat.
That's what they're calling it.
Neat. And
Yeah,
I assume AEW also did a thing?
yeah, double or nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It's not-
MJF's back though.
Oh, no.
This is what I wanted to talk to you because I know you don't like MJF.
Oh, I was hoping he would stay injured until his contract ran out.
So MJF, if you don't know, Maxwell Jacob Friedman is his name, and he sort of took over wrestling, and everyone hated him because he was like the last real wrestler. You could say he lives the gimmick, as in if there's like a little kid that comes up to him and tell the little kid to F off, and they give him a tombstone pile driver.
Oh, yeah.
Tell his parents to F off. Like he's always the bad guy.
Love
Kind
that.
of like Razor Ramon. Exactly. So that's what got me back into it. Was like the last real wrestler, but he sort of tailed off, and they had this thing. He is back now.
Oh,
And
no.
I wanted to get a reaction from you just because you're like sort of on the outside. Because I got a little excited for it, but I didn't watch it. I told the boys I was going to watch it. We had the Pullet Club all ready to go, and then everyone dropped out. Where are you at with wrestling now? Does anything get you back into it, or are you just sort of done with it?
I'm still really enjoying. I'm enjoying following it more than I'm enjoying watching it. Because I find that when I watch the Evil Empire, if you will,
Yeah.
everything moves very, very slowly,
Yes.
and it's kind of a slog sometimes to get through. Like it's a 3-hour show every Monday. It's hard to watch anything for 15 minutes to get a 5-minute little thing that you're interested in.
Something to take away.
Right? It's hard to do that when a show's that long. With AEW, I find that they do so much so often. It all kind of starts to blur together and kind of become the same. And I
Yeah.
find that I don't care as much about the performers as if I was just kind of reading about them. Like I give more craps about the well-being of these people, reading about what they're doing, rather than watching them because I don't want to see anybody get hurt. And I feel like I'm seeing somebody get hurt every time I watch that show.
It's pretty bad.
And if you've seen their injured list, I'm not wrong.
I can tell you that like these aren't even spoilers. I don't think anyone cares if they're watching the show about any of this. It's just
No.
interesting to know that Edge, who is wrestling as Adam Copeland now, is his real name.
Yep.
He like jumped off the top of a steel cage and he might have Jim Cornetted his kneecaps.
Oh
It was
no!
pretty gross. So he might be hurt. As well,
Oh,
Darby Allin, who's like he's like the bad boy skater dude that like, he's so
Yeah.
edgy and he's wants to get hurt all the time.
Mhm.
He used a flamethrower to light Jungle Jack Perry on fire.
I mean, good.
It was weird.
Good.
And Dylan's son from 90210 got lit on fire by a guy named Darby Allin, who normally skateboards to the ring with a literal flamethrower.
I'm fine with that.
Then you okay?
I'm absolutely fine with that. No matter how that stunt went, I feel like it would be for the better.
It was so bad.
Like if it went really well, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And if Jungle Jack just got burned to a crisp, that's fine too. That's also fine. And if it just looked so terrible
Yeah.
that like, oh man, why did they even do that? That's good too, because now we all have something to laugh about, right? Like,
This is it.
and that's kind of where I'm at with wrestling. I'll watch the highlights. I love to talk about it. I love to theorize about it.
Yeah,
I-
we gotta start supporting local wrestling, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
We're gonna get into that more.
Yes,
That's the
we
thing we're doing. Fellas, where can we go if we need more information on stuff? Oh, that was good, dude. Dufferinav.com is your home for everything that we do around here, including dropping our headsets, as well as endorsing, sponsoring, advertising. If you want to create, head on up to Dufferin Ave Media Group. Media Network. We're not a media group. But you can go over there. It's the funnest website ever. And there you will also find the people that we are trying to help, including our friends at the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center. A couple more days to go with the citywide food drive. Brando, how many dollars do you think we've raised so far for the Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Center with their citywide food drive?
I couldn't guess. I would imagine it's got to be in several zeros, right? Like people in
wish.
Canada in Saskatoon, very giving.
They're going to be stepping up. We, right now, every time I use the term again, like that, as in a crutch to give me time to think about what I'm going to say next, we've been donating $10.
Oh wow.
My parents donated $100 on top of that. My
Oh.
sister and our good friends over at Aquaman, your home for underwater drone inspections and so much more in lovely Lloydminster. They are also matching. So we currently sit at $400.
Aw.
We have a $400 donation, so that might jump up a little bit more as the citywide food drive continues. They had their Saturday Blitz over the weekend at the Sobeys at Preston Crossing from 11 till 3. So hopefully you got out to help out with that as we get very, very close. So a couple more days for the citywide food drive. Be sure to head to saskatoonfoodbank.org. And once you're there, you can make monetary donations. You can fill up one of those bins, the big bin fill up. And there's still time to do that, and they'll come pick it up at the end of the week. And we will have a nice big total here, and hopefully we'll talk to our friends, Lori and Deb and the gang over there, maybe Thursday or Friday, just to put a little cap on this huge month for the food bank, who is basically running out of the stock that they had from the Christmas time fill up. And now they're going into summertime where there is no lunch programs for the kids. So
Yep.
it just starts again. So they got to keep hitting that as we get close to the finish.
And we're gonna get there. And I think that they're doing good work, and it's needed work. And I'm glad that I get to be a part of making sure people who take care of people can do that.
Doesn't it feel good?
It does.
It really
It feels
good.
very
And
good.
the fact Lori came in here, like she's such I love her so much. She just rolls in, and we just talk like best friends, and she just rolls out, and that was it. And it's just like you're doing a good thing, and then we just confirm it by being besties.
Can I ask a question about Aquaman?
Yes.
You said Aquaman in Lloydminster.
Yeah.
Now, underwater drone inspections.
Yes.
Now, in Lloydminster,
Yes.
are there that many underwater drones? And are there that many underwater drones in Lloydminster that they need to be inspected often? Is this an industry that I was unaware of?
I feel like they probably have one underwater drone, and they use it in numerous places.
And then these people inspect it to make sure that it can go to those places.
Yes, like their big thing is operations of licensed water treatment facilities in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Nailed it. Okay? That's pretty cool.
That is pretty
So
cool.
the fact they're doing that, and they do so much more, and I have a huge list of stuff that they do, and they are in like that's the crazy part. They're in Lloydminster, like they're hanging out in Lloyd. So for them to believe in this much that they want to be a part of it means a lot. So we're all about them, and thank you again to them. We got our final guest here.
Uh-oh.
So to you, Don't turn your back on the wolf pack. Might
Never-
wind up in a body bag.
Oh, I never shall.
Uncle Brando, everybody, give it up! Dude, more Uncle Brando is the most feedback I've gotten so far about this show.
Nice.
So anytime you can join us, please feel free
Oh,
as we
man.
continue to grow together. You are a magical human being, and I love you.
Oh, just try and stop me, Gary.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you again. One more time. One more time for him. The dude literally, like he didn't do much except go to a nude beach and be nude on a nude beach, and then not only that, he got to try seafood for the first time. He did so many things. I feel like our good friend Brando really grew as a human being over the last week, which is really cool. Come on up here, cowboy. We're gonna close the slow show with you. The slow show.
Who's this one?
That's Joel.
Hi.
That's my man.
On the show?
Don't worry. No, he's just he's hanging out. He's one of my special guys. I love him very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Coach Mazer. Yeah, buddy.
Ooh, this seat is warm.
We've been sweating in here. It's 20 degrees.
It is hot out.
Yeah.
Feels
Hey,
like
did-
Vancouver.
First and foremost, did we get the drywall?
Yep,
We got
I got
drywall.
some.
We got the drywall.
The final step.
The final step.
So I have a lot to say right now.
Prove it.
I was on the way over here.
Yeah, you took a while.
Yeah, so I had to go to the bank
You
for
were
work.
joking, yeah.
Right, and there was a guy that rolled in with a Bam Bam Bigelow t-shirt on.
Get
And I
outta here.
realized that everybody that goes to the bank, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Bam Bam
Everyone,
Bigelow? Cartwheel?
it just seems to be a unique. There seems to be unique people. It's almost like Walmart now. The people that, yeah, there's just a melting. Thank
melting
you. There's
pot.
like a unique blend, and I'm one of them. But this dude had a Bam Bam Bigelow shirt on or whatever, and then
Did it
there's
have, like,
one
the
guy
flames?
that does the same thing I do, where he shaves the back of his neck to get the little scraggles,
Okay.
but he doesn't go to the barber to do it.
Who does
Like
it?
sometimes
DIY.
I do it, and then I
Do it
got to see
yourself.
what that looks like, and I'm like, I should see a hairdresser instead of doing that. But that was me in the future. And then I saw another lady that somehow
Also cut her hair that way?
no, she didn't. She just was. They were just having troubles, and it was a very unique situation. Then I'm on the way over here, and I'm listening to you and Brando speak, and you're talking about octopi
Yes.
and how smart they are.
Yes.
But they're just smart, like doing what octopus do. Like, do you think there's any octopi that are intellects?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They read,
Or like
they
they-
write.
They like
do
have a
stuff.
bunch of other octopuses that work for them, and they're philosophers. Yeah, like
I bet you there's a hierarchy of octopi
hi-
for sure.
I want to know that. You know,
well, we
because
need a marine
anything where everyone's like,
biologist.
"Oh, this
We need a
octopus is
marine
so
biologist.
small or smart, he can get out of a small box, or he can go through a maze quickly." It's
They
like,
do
oh,
all
that's
that.
mice can do that.
Yeah. I always feel bad when you have to kill mice. It's not good. We're getting negative
The
again.
little bit of insulation that I brought here
Yep.
for the wall,
Don't tell me there's mice in there.
there was a dead gopher on there. There's
That's good.
a crow. There's a couple
I got
ravens that have taken place in the spot where we store this stuff,
Okay.
and they were
I
having a
did
feast
adopt
on there.
3 crows last year.
Really?
I gave them treats, and then they'd come over and they would like hop over and they would take like right out of my hand, and then they'd bring me treats back. It was
Our
like
cro-
the coolest thing.
Are crows the smartest bird?
Oh yeah. That's not even up for debate. I don't think. Crows
They're
and
the
ravens.
octopi of the air.
There it is.
Cool.
I like that. That's very well said. Okay. So we
Another
got the
fun
drywall.
little story. Here
Yes.
we got drywall, and then another thing. I checked our messenger group that you never check anymore. That's fine.
Ah, yeah.
What would
It used to be Vladi.
WWVJ
VG Vladi Guerrero. Too many
D.
letters in it.
is a play on your favorite thing, talking about Jesus? So what would Jesus do? But it was what would Vladdy Jr. do?
Yeah.
And we have this little group, and we
I love how I'm in it, and I check.
you're
once
in
a
it, and you
year,
don't
yeah.
check that often. But Rob Walker,
Robbie, he's been like a
Robbie
star of this
Walker.
show, eh?
has he, or is it Randy?
But this always happens because they're twins.
Which one is it?
I don't know. I just
We
say
were
both of
hating
them.
on one, loving the other.
I wasn't
maybe.
hating on any because I barely know them. I just know of their names.
They're
and
great
I've seen them.
guys.
They are absolutely.
Yeah, one's a dentist and one does other things.
Sounds like the
One
start of a
works
joke.
on the eyes. So-
Icologist.
An ecologist, yeah. Anyway, so his daughter's also in the spring hockey thing. I don't
Okay.
know. I didn't know that she played hockey, but she's been sucked into that evil world as well. It's really fun. So he was in a tournament this weekend, and he goes to the rink, and he looks at his daughter's bench, and it has a nice parent coach on the bench. Nice dynamic, and nice someone that maybe is experienced in hockey. And then he looked at the opposition, and the head coach walks out, and then followed the head coach is Shea Weber,
Oh, get out of here.
Wade Redden,
What?
Jordan Tutu.
Come on.
Yeah. Wait, there's one more. I'm gonna look because
What?
this is what
Why
I do.
are they there?
Because all their daughters play on this team, and he's like, "This can't be good," and he
No
was right.
kidding.
It was the worst, apparently.
I wonder how big those clappers are. Remember Shea Weber used to park them like 105,
I don't.
106?
You'd imagine his daughter had a huge.
Well, that's what I
clap on, too.
mean.
Man, we talked about so much garbage
So
before
hold
he
on.
said that.
Their
Hold on.
daughters were playing against.
Brent Seabrook. So and those were the assistant coaches. So head coach.
Well,
Shea
that would be the
Weber,
head coach with
Seabrook.
that guy under you.
Yeah,
all
with
those
all
guys
those
under
four
you.
guys.
Nope, I wouldn't.
That
I would
blew
never
my
do
head.
that.
So I had a fun story. So this spring, I coached against Ladislav Smeed,
Yeah, I remember this story.
right?
Yeah.
And of course, like just one NHLer can't bring me down.
No.
But those four
those
would
aren't just
definitely
NHLers, those are,
destroy.
like, established
Those are
stars.
guys. Yeah.
With huge slap shots. Huge.
Speaking of huge slap shots,
Yeah, I'll play.
okay.
No, not mine.
AHL hardest slap shot all-star
Weekend.
competition
Yep.
weekend 2004 maybe.
Okay.
We played baseball with him.
The judge?
The judge, I saw Blair at
Come on.
Al Anderson's yesterday.
Get out
with his two young ones, and I
Of
was like,
course.
he needs to get on the show. He's way overdue.
Yeah, and we've tried, and he's been close, hasn't he? We can
I've
tell
said
some good
everything I
stories.
needed to say.
Well, he'll come. Well, he said he used to love doing post-game shows and getting on the radio and stuff when he was with the Flames.
He'd be so good.
Yeah.
And he's
we'll
like
bring him
trying to be a head coach and stuff like that,
in.
or
Well,
an
we could
assistant
promote him.
coach.
Judge, we could
A
get in
coach.
here and promote.
Yeah, get over here, bud.
Is he getting his
Camera
Rhino swings in
2?
still?
Are we at camera 2 or camera 1?
Camera 2. Is he getting his Rhino swings in?
He is. He actually asked if I was coming, and I don't have.
I feel so bad. I can't throw with my arm. I can't do anything. It's quite embarrassing. I even told Usher I'd be in this year, and it's crooked. You look at it, it's actual crooked arm, and this is all popped out, and it's just.
It looks fine.
So I was told I can't throw.
The speaking of embarrassing, so I pitched to my kids team yesterday,
Here we go.
and they're 13 and 12.
Okay.
And one of the coaches just like, oh yeah, this guy throws gas, but I haven't thrown it all this year. So we were doing live BP, and they're like, the kids are like, yeah, he'd be maybe top 10 thrower in our league. And these are 12-year-olds. I was just like,
Well, then obviously you heated up a little bit, and you gave him one, right?
no, I tried.
You
Yeah, I
actually
wasn't
tried to give it full effort.
full effort, no
Max-
warm up.
max
yeah,
velo?
which is probably
Well, that's how
50,
you break the arm.
55
Yeah.
miles per hour. Yeah.
But how's your arm feel?
My shoulder's really sore today.
Yeah, that's how I feel all the time. It's never good.
Yeah.
So speaking of sports, before we head out for the day, it's almost time for Frank's Fingers. I did my hair for you again. You still haven't commented on it.
I was put off by Dr. Hose.
Yeah,
And then
my neck is just bruised. Like it's bad.
And then following Brando always puts me on edge
Brando is the best.
because he's so funny.
He's so cut.
and
I
then
know,
he's
he
talking
needs to
about
be on the
he's
air all the time.
educated.
Yeah.
I was so like there's a lot of, to be honest, I knew some things about octopi before, but
You
other
usually
things he was
research this.
talking about just blew my mind. I was like, that's a tough act to follow. Why I'm gonna maybe get into a traffic jam and just apologize for showing up late with the
By
drywall.
the way, you
but-
did remind me. You can also listen to this show. I like to say this a couple times per show, as it's not just on YouTube. You can listen to the audio versions. They are also very, very good on Spotify's, Apple Books, all that stuff.
on a time delay.
On a time delay. Is that good?
It's fine.
Art Van delay.
Art Van delay. What is that from?
NHL. Rangers. The
This is
Rangers.
bugging me.
We
This
got the
has been here
Rangers
for
with,
3 days.
No, leave it. That's our garbage. What is it?
That's a rock from Cuthbertson's shoe, I believe.
Is it autographed?
I don't know. It's been here.
He's going to be here tomorrow. Metal
I'll
Matt.
leave it
in
here.
the
Maybe
house
it'd be
from all
sweet if
the
he does
bands.
the same entrance and it goes back in his shoe.
Okay, we'll
and
see if
then
I
it
can get him to
leaves.
do it.
Okay.
That'd be sweet. The Rangers, we got him in the Fat Tito. Shout out to Rapco in the gang,
Mm-hmm.
Tito. Any thoughts on that series at all? Nobody likes Florida, right? They get the hell out of here.
Well, you're supposed to like Florida because they've never won before. So if the Oilers don't make it, I thought you were cheering for Florida.
I guess I could.
But you shouldn't because if you've gambled or bet on the Rangers, cheer for the Rangers.
The Sterno and Gary really needs a Rangers win. But I just want real quick.
They
a
do.
snapshot.
Hey, check out
I know you and
our
Kavanaugh right there.
Kavanaugh thing and Cato. We have the Jays and the
Cato.
Reds, and we're
Yeah, that's a tough one.
that's tough.
Anyways, Give me a team. Tell me about hockey. I know you don't watch it anymore, but this is almost funnier because before we would talk all the time about it, and you would have every detail. And now
Every
it's just
single
like
detail.
you're
Now-
the outsider looking in.
Yeah, no, I'm.
The Rangers got a chance.
Every time I sit down to watch, I fall asleep.
I go blind.
Every time I look at you.
I go blind.
No, I listen or watch the
Yeah.
the games and I just fall asleep. But
Yeah.
the Rangers, who won yesterday?
I believe Florida did, didn't they? Rangers.
Yeah,
won.
so it's Rangers 2-1.
Rangers 2-1.
I believe
pretty good.
at the start of the playoffs, I called the Rangers versus the Oilers
You
final.
did call it. You
and
did say
we
that.
didn't put money on it.
We never
So
did.
that's stupid. And I put money on other things.
Okay. And now everyone cares a lot more about the Edmonton series, obviously, because
Mm-hmm.
that's Canadian team and all that. I haven't heard much uproar from all the people talking about, oh, how could you say they're Canada's team? That's usually a thing when there's one team left. Has
No, there's
Canada
that
gotten behind
there's
Edmonton?
that commercial. What's that commercial that's going on that for BP's commercial
Ah,
that says everyone in Canada should just hop on whatever Canadian teams left bandwagon, I think, or go to BP's and have a good time or
but
drink
their
schooners.
name literally
I think.
has Boston in it.
What?
Their name has Boston in it. Are they Canadian?
The guy that invented the name Boston Pizza was just a fan of something Boston.
Is it a Canadian
The Red
thing?
Sox, maybe, or the Bruins.
Is it like, are they a Canadian company?
It's a Canadian.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So people are jumping on as Team Canada, a.k.a. Edmonton?
Would they have made it as far if they were just Toronto's Pizza?
Well, they make it a lot farther as far as people
Boston's
cheering for them goes because everyone seems to love Toronto.
I like the Blue Jays. I'm
They-
not a
they-
Leafs fan.
They did good today. Oilers, real quick before we hit the fingers. What do you got
Mhm.
tonight? Is that 1-1?
Are you
game
going to hit
three?
the fingers?
No, he's not hitting the fingers. We
Hit
play
the
out
fingers.
with the break his fingers. You're hitting
Oh,
it.
dude, what
You're
if it
hitting
was just we could
Who's
hit
gonna
a
win
whole different
tonight?
thing if just your feet
No, he
came
is not-
above the table
No.
and did Frankie's
Stay
fingers.
focused. He's a secret fan. He's not a part of this.
He is
Talk
a
to me
part of
about
this.
Edmonton.
He's here.
Are they going to win?
I don't know. It's a tough thing. Like I said, I thought the Stars would win the first two,
Yeah, and you were wrong with that.
and I was wrong on that. They're going back the way you always want to go home. You want to split, right? So you want to win your home games, split on the road, you win. So they've split. They win two at home, and then go back. So I think the Oilers will pull it out. I think it'll be back and forth, though. And I said it would go 7. I think it'll go 7.
Yeah, it's good hockey.
The
man. It's
Rangers
fun to watch.
will win in 6.
This is it.
And then it'll be Rangers Oilers, just like
Nice.
we didn't gamble on.
One more for you. Moose Jaw. Tough start to the Mem Cup.
I've
haven't
been
talked
trying to find
Croker.
that. This
I
is
think
what we
Croker's
need
still
to do.
angry.
Yeah, he would be. We need to cover sports that aren't covered as much.
We were actually talking about that.
Like the World Cup of hockey. I was reading how
So-
nobody really pays
Man,
attention
I was
and
watching
stuff
that
like that.
semifinal. I fell asleep and I woke up. I thought Canada won, and then it turns out they lost. And had to go play Sweden.
And who did they lose to?
Czech.
Czechia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who won it all?
What else?
Margaret.
Another thing that bugs me. She's getting feisty. It must be spraying time
Supper time.
or that. I think. So there was a list of the all-time winners, or someone was like, "Well, Canada lost." Maybe it was Gord something.
Gord Ash from the Toronto
No.
Blue Jays.
Different Gord. I forget who it is. A hockey Gord.
Gordon Lightfoot, the greatest.
Oh,
Gord of
I
all
wish it
time.
was Gordon Lightfoot. The
It's so hard not to bust
if
out
you
the Eddie's
can
there it is. I
read
knew it
my
was coming.
mind, love.
There
So
was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run.
they said, well, Canada's won the most medals,
Yes.
and they had a little sheet there, and then it was Russia/Soviet Union, and then they had the Czechia, Czech Republic /
All the
Czechoslovakia.
different names. Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, but Czechoslovakia would also include Slovakia, who's only won 4 medals since
You're
becoming
breaking up
Slovakia.
the
So then
team,
you should
yeah.
also separate Czechs out of that. I don't know. That could have been left in my head, actually. That was a
pretty good.
you ever
It did
look
lead
something
me-
up
it
and
did-
you
You go ahead.
research something, and then you're like, that pisses me off, and you want to tell someone about it, but you realize nobody cares.
This is why I love you, man. Nobody can come on and be as real as you. I will say, best friend of the show, the great Michael Garnett, was the 3rd goalie for the World Hockey Championships one year, and the stories that dude has to tell. Like, I'm going to get him on here soon. We're going to talk to the Garnies and get this
Even
party
yeah,
going.
that'd be sweet.
But he,
We need to tap
it's
into that.
crazy, man. Like it's just a bit. Well, I shouldn't say it is now, but it used to be quite the big party when you go to the World Hockey Championship because
Yeah.
you lost out of the playoffs, so you're just going over and you're playing for
Oh,
gold and you
yeah,
take
you
it
don't-
seriously. But when you're the 3rd string, like He was taking clappers to the face. It's like, this is wild. So
you know what else is a big party when you're out of the playoff hunt halfway through the year,
Yeah.
and then you're just collecting a paycheck, and it's not a bad thing if you're not that good. Like we had a story. So I visited Endo in Pittsburgh one time. I'm not going to get into all the stories that we had there, but I noticed
You and your brother.
Sergey. Yeah, I met Jason was going to school in
These
Toronto,
stories are incredible.
and I was going to meet Cade
Kato.
and Mark Ferguson
Berg.
and some other people. Damn, I hope I didn't forget anybody.
You probably did, but we're running out of time. We got to hit the
Okay.
fingers.
Anyway, I went and met them in Thailand,
Yes.
but on the way there, I stopped in New York,
A quick stop.
and then on the way back, I stopped in Pittsburgh to hang out with Endo a little bit as well. So on the way there, we stopped in New York, and Sergey Gonchar was having a down year, and
Very
I
good
thought
defenseman.
he's on his way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's 28, he's hitting that 30 thing. This should be the prime, but he's having a down year. He's trash. They just were partying all the time. They did not care, not to let a cat out of the bag or anything. And then there's
don't get us in trouble with the two
yeah.
people watching.
fair enough.
It'd be bad.
Lyle Odeline as well.
He used to chew 2 tins a day without ever spitting and dated Shania Twain.
Really?
Something to think about.
I just thought about it. That's
Blow your
crazy.
mind? Yeah.
That did blow my mind.
2
Lyle
tins a day.
Odeline dated Shania Twain before Shania Twain.
That's not the crazy part. 2 tins a day without spitting. That's so much chew you're eating.
I saw Clayton Croker try Zyn for the first time. and
Same thing.
then I drove him home after, and I didn't know
Hey,
that
you
could do
can't-
that
you
to a
can't,
guy.
You can't chirp Croker.
I
when
can.
He's not here to defend himself. To be fair,
Especially
that was
if
a
he's-
33 milligram dip. It was very strong.
It was very intense.
I did warn him.
He's
3
such a
times.
showman that he started going off into a story about how he
was
chewed
incredible.
for the first time and the journey that it took him on.
We can go ahead and hit the
And then
fingers now while we
later-
roll the story.
Later on, are we done?
Not yet. We got a minute.
Our fingers are playing.
Yeah, they're playing.
Can I see some toes?
No, keep going. Tell about Croker talking about the.
Well, no one can hear anymore. I've watched the show,
Everyone
and when the
can hear.
fingers are
No,
going,
he's got
you
the
don't
levels
hear anything.
down. The levels are down. We're good.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about Croker putting his 33
Croker.
milligram.
Anyway, he takes us on this journey,
Yeah.
and
Telling
I'm
us about how he's just
a
crushed
sober
it.
human being,
He's
so I
spent
just
so
I'm
many
still
times
following
crushed it.
along this wave with the hilltops and how he got taken out as a young guy and tried to chew for the first time, and then he ended up
Fell in love.
vomiting in the back of the bus. Is this allowed to be correct, Clayton? I hope this is okay.
I
Anyway.
think you're not really telling the story the right way either. So that
No,
makes
not
it
at all.
better.
But then he did that, and then it was just to define how sick he felt off that huge dip that you gave him.
And I warned him 3 times. I said, it's very strong.
Hmm.
Thank God.
I'll be fine. And he was an upper decker too, I think.
Yeah, well, that's where they go because you're not chewing on it. Hell of a start to the week. That's a great show. To Uncle Brando from the CCO podcast, thank you for hanging out, buddy. We love you and teaching us all about octopi and nude beaches. Coach Mazer, thank you for hopping in here and talking about stuff as well. That was very good.
We're
You're the best.
gonna
I love it
stuff
so much.
some insulation in the walls over
That'd
there.
be good. We're gonna get some
Right
stuff
behind,
done.
Dragon.
We got Reed in there as well. Shout out to Reed, first time on the board. That was very fun.
Who's
Dragon
Reed?
Showing off his new guy that just walked in.
There's a double-headed dragon in there.
Let's go find out.
Double
We'll-
dragon.
We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to have Matt Cuthbertson plus a super special guest and Uncle Mike. It's going to be a full house tomorrow. It's going to be very fun. Until
And
then,
the surprise guest.
I just said
You
surprise
said those
guest.
words?
I got you.
Sorry.
Until then, have the best Monday of your life. And don't forget, karma is very real. So be a good person and good stuff will start happening. It's very easy. Until then, we have to hide in here because people are nuts out there. Is that weird? Was that peace?
I do the peace thing.
When did you start doing that?
If you check back at least 5
That's not
times,
your thing.
okay, I'll
Please
get a
tell
new
me that's
thing.
not your thing.
This
What
one?
about a salute? You can do a salute.
This?
Oh, hang loose. I can hang loose. Hang loose till tomorrow. We're going to catch some waves. That's pretty good.
Billabong and Quicksilver.
Have a great rest of your Monday. Play us out, Dragon.